Welcome to A Yelp in the Dark. Today we're doing our first episode of Advanced Miniature Paintings. I'm going to teach you the secrets that the experts are afraid of. Now you're expecting that we start with a standard miniature, much like this, except this one's already painted. But has it ever occurred to you that painting minis is really incredibly easy? You know what the mini is. You know where the paint goes. You know where the color goes. In fact, all the work's done for you by the sculpting artist. Painting a mini is a lot like coloring in a coloring book. Kind of makes that golden demon sound a little less special, doesn't it? We are going to do advanced miniature painting, meaning we are going to use this. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know where the colors go. I have a blank canvas. This terrifies them. I've also started watching Adventures Nigh on Second Wind with Yahtzee Croshaw and gang. And strangely, their figures look an awful lot like peg people. I just couldn't resist. Wood is apparently my thing. We've got crafters out there working in foam. We've got crafters working in cardboard. What the heck, man? I'm going to do wood. I like the rustic look. I like the idea of it feeling like an old chess set. And I can get peg people in bulk at Michael's. The box contains the sizes small, medium, large creatures, and huge creatures. They also come sold individually in much larger versions. I plan to pick up one about 10 inches tall for a Red Dragon build at some point. Thanks for joining me for today's project. Also, join us on the Tabletop Crafters Guild on Facebook so I can see what you're making.